walk another micron, we're never going to find... the goblin's lair.
Cozy, if we had a fair trial, I seem to have forgotten it.
Welcome back to Darkened Skye, where we've just suffered a bit of a serendipitous misfortune. We've been warned that the goblins hold weapons that we require to complete our task for this level, but also are incredibly fearsome foes, and we are unlikely to get out of here alive. But that's exactly what we're going to have to do, and for starters, we're going to have to break out of prison. Can't do much behind bars. You'll be shocked to hear that diminish is exactly the solution to that problem. There we go. Looks like they were not planning for magically shrinking people to accidentally fall into their prison cells. The fools. They'll pay dearly for that oversight. What have we here?
Those little bursts of energy charge up the power cell.
Okay, Skye's got foreknowledge about some kind of power cell. Convenient. Ooh. Less convenient is the automated defense system of the goblins, which is easily destroyed, but when you highlight it with your attack reticle, it doesn't change colors, so for a while I thought it was just indestructible. It's actually very easily destroyed, but, you know. You never know unless you try. Strange little door here, but good to note that that's how it opens. More automated defenses. That halitosis will obviously kill you very, very quickly. And our first living goblin goes down like a chump. Kinda splattered grotesquely along the way. Pretty satisfying. The goblins are excellent foes, I think. They attack in huge, huge numbers, usually. But each individual one will die pretty quickly. Their damage output is still very high, but overall, this level plays really well. A lot better than previous levels have. But hey, a considerably less aggressive goblin. Let's see what he's doing in the slammer.
Hello, sir? What sort of place would this be?
Would be 4-star tavern if me had's me way, but as you can see, me don'ts. Who's scowl ring bell?
What are you in for?
Rest of natural life. Luckily, goblin life far from natural.
So you're a goblin?
Wish me was a goblin. Gobble, gobble. But have had nary a bite since Neem's day. Any edibles you? Have vital information, me.
Another ridiculous, whimsical speech pattern. It's not quite as bad as the Zogles. Not Gungan in nature, but it's a bit Yoda-esque. Luckily, we won't be talking to many goblins, we'll just be shooting them in the face. And even more luckily, the next time we see this guy, we'll be stuffing his gob with some delicious food. That's a dead end, so obviously we're going to have to go around that corner where I happen to know death awaits. That's why I'm going to use this spell we've never used before, even though we've had it for quite a while. Magnify Magic. It's actually going to make all of our spells considerably more powerful for a pretty decent duration. So, back there in the corner is that boss with the health bar in the corner. And with Magnify up, he just goes down like a chump. And we'll just use Pyro Pulse to finish off everyone else. These guys aren't much of a threat. Yep, the kind of not much of a threat that does half my health in a couple of seconds. Compared to previous enemies, that's not much. Oh, and what have we here? Not an enemy, just a tortured soul hanging from a harness over a pit of instant death spikes. Quite the hideous individual. Seen better days, doesn't seem to be too happy about it. Matter of fact, I feel like I've seen this exact character in the 2010 Splatterhouse remake. Disturbing. But that's just the kind of crazy junk we're gonna see here in the goblin lair. Things get pretty messed up around here. Speaking of which, we've got a glowing sandwich on the table.
A true digital meal. Yum.
Not a very appetizing sandwich. Nice use of the buzzword digital there. That was all the rage in 2002. And over here,
I can't use the steam lift without a fully charged power cell.
Nice gameplay exposition.
I thought so.
more talk of the fabled power cell. Suppose this is where it goes.
We seem to be lacking something.
I think it's called a power source. The going up part's gonna be a little tricky.
Okay, Skye just spontaneously forgot about the power cell that she's been talking about this whole time. Oh well. We don't need it just yet. But we need it soon. And that's lucky because it's right here.
Don't know what it does. Maybe it stores energy.
And it's a bit dangerous. But it allows us to collect the energy balls. So you know how energy is just like a physical object that floats around in space waiting for you to collect it? Once we've got the power cell, we are free to collect them. And if we look at the power cell, it's also a percentile based. That means we need 10 of those orbs. And unfortunately there are exactly 10. There's no margin of error here. Like there was with the Phoenix Feathers a couple levels back. One thing I discovered down here in the tight, cramped corridors of the Goblin Prison is that Polar Pulse has a bit of splash damage. It's very, very useful for dealing with the large groups of goblins, but it also gets to be pretty dangerous. Especially with those melee goblins. They run at you with their daggers. They have a pretty easy time getting to you right as the splash damage would be an issue. Foreknowledge goes a very, very long way here. Hate to say, but I've said it before. This game is pretty much only beatable to people who have beaten it before. So, a couple of our orbs are locked away. Luckily we can get in and out in just one cast of Diminish. And the other orbs we've seen, we'll be heading back that way in a slightly more convenient manner before too long. Good thing I checked there. And also a good thing, I'm checking back here, because there's an ever-important health potion, and the next yellow Skittles. And our new spell for the level is incredibly lemony. It's the Ring of Rhyme. And it's very, very useful. A huge upgrade to all of our previous attack spells. And we can equip it with Polar Pulse, so they go well together, and it gives us a huge mana pool. We have very high potential damage output before we run out of mana now. And this is going to carry us through all the combat we're going to face. That poor thing really poses no threat. But it guards another power pickup. This spot here is supposed to collapse into an instant death pit. Sometimes it doesn't, though. Oop. Danger. But Ring of Rhyme instantly kills these gun-wielding goblins. Does, I think, exactly triple the damage of the Polar Pulse. The Polar Pulse already does a lot of damage. And it's very easy to hit with. The only drawback is that you gotta get pretty close. Pretty serious drawback, but nonetheless, it is worth it. The spell is phenomenal. That's kind of a trick. But it's not that bad of a trick. We've dealt with worse. And this drops us right back with the imprisoned goblin. So we go back to where we started, from whence we came. That's where the last two spheres are. We're just about done here. Just gotta drop off our finger sandwich with our imprisoned friend.
We're energized.
Just keeps going and going. But before we get going, gotta make sure this is a complete genocide of all the goblins. Because they're just fun to kill. So fun to kill that the instruction manual even specifically mentions that they make fun noises when they die. We're not the only sadists wandering around in a foreign land. Anyway, finger sandwich. Well, let's look at it in the inventory first. Why not? Yep. Cannibalism. And the power cell. Ever uninteresting.
Oh, a finger sandwich! God's having party. So what vital information you want? You are guest of goblins of Stoneheath, finest cobblers of reality in all 5 lands. Upstairs live other goblins not convicted of major felonies.
I heard the goblins might have a secret for reviving someone long dead.
You mean like a portable crystal time machine that reshuffles temporal flow for a single individual? So funny. Where you hear that one? Here, give you real information instead. This take you places.
Well, that certainly wasn't suspicious in any way. Got any more reliable information for us?
There be no time machine which we be not planning to use as a secret weapon of war. Good finger sandwich, though.
Oh, just anti-information. And a bald-faced lie about the sandwich. But nonetheless, fully charged battery, and whatever kind of crap he just gave us. There we go, charge the door.
I think I need a security code.
And the security code is exactly what we just got. We're out of prison. Get out of jail free. Yep, unless we miss the time on the door. There we go. But the goblin lair has only just begun. This is another one of those multi-stage levels with the same challenge over and over again. Luckily, the power cell challenge is very simple, sort of just a checkpoint thing. This is odd. Less disturbing than the bloated creature hanging over a death pit, but no more explicable, that's for sure. These are just our light sources for the area. At least the area is more brightly lit, but that's... why would you design this? This is ridiculous. Like a tortured squid or something. Ready our Ring of Rhyme. We only get about 2 casts of it per mana bar. So I don't want to go too crazy with it. But 2 casts is enough to kill anything. Not quite those boss guys, but anything else. Anything else we're going to see down here. If we were to magnify it then it'd be super lethal. But it requires at least one yellow Skittles, so until we get one more, we can't have Magnify and Ring of Rhyme at the same time. That would be too easy. They did do a pretty good job of rationing out Skittles and locating them in specific spots to limit your progress. Sometimes they limited it a little bit too much, but overall, as design goes, that part's reasonably well designed.
Why come around you? Nothing see here. Me no testing nothing. Me no testing nothing.
Well, another non-hostile, but also very suspicious goblin. Skye doesn't quite have the background in science to know exactly what he was doing. She doesn't say anything if you look at the science table. That's what they're called, right? Yep. That was a trap. Luckily, Diminish does not reduce our power any. We're still super deadly when we're small, but I need to unequip that spell. I'm pretty sure it has no further use. Oh. Here's our next monster friend. Check him out. Some kind of brain blob. Half Kirby, half, I don't know, pudding. It's behind some kind of force field, so we'll be leaving it alone for now. And continuing to explore. Whoop. Slowly, though. Corral this guy. Okay, he came alone. I think he's got backup in there. But we can deal with that as it comes. Yep. See, everything is made short work of with our glorious new spell. It begins to feel almost like Doom, where we're wandering around through tight corridors. Often at risk of death, but if we get the jump on them, we can get through unscathed. So we got a purple Skittles being threatened by a machine. The I'm not touching you machine. Can't get in there because of that bloody force field. And we got this switch. The switch is part of a puzzle that I don't think there are any clues to. So I think we're just supposed to know the answer instinctively. I'm almost positive this switch is supposed to stay in its starting position. We'll see. That's the easiest one to deal with. Even if I'm wrong about it, we can go fix that very easily. But hopefully I'm not wrong about it. Either way, we're gonna have to come back for that Skittles, though. It's funny how infrequently I'm saying Skittles in this game that is ostensibly about Skittles. I sort of knew going into this that the gimmick would not last the duration of the game. It's simply too much game for too shallow a gimmick. Kind of a shame. I know a lot of people were very thrilled to see literal Skittles in this otherwise, you know, not shilling adventure. One of the reasons I second-guessed this Let's Play. It's got its merits enough to get past that lack of gimmick. But nonetheless, it's a bit disappointing. They've even lost, like, the color coding at this point. Like, there's no colors down here. It was fun while it lasted. And surely it'll come back, but for now, I miss it.
Me show you goblin fight soon.
Uh-oh. Now he's a terrifying threat.
Oh, worshipful one of strongness, me not so worth you pummel. Me know nothing, tell you everything.
What about a portable crystal time machine?
Funny you. Get laugh show, wear jingly hat. Okay, me tell. No time machine, never. No invent, no make, no have, never. Not find in workshop top floor.
Got it. Now, I need the access code for the steam lift.
Never! No part with! Rather die! Okay, here.
Yeah, take that, nerd. Oh, he's got a tough guy friend. Those are the worst kinds of nerds. The kinds you can't beat up. But he's defeated. Look at him there. Groveling at our feet. So... Uh-oh. Oh, we can see the splash damage. It's hitting both of them with each cast of the spell. It's very limited splash damage, as you can see, though. Oh, the boss type. You can tell because their guns aren't purple. They're a slightly more realistic shade of brown. As everyone knows, purple is the color of weakness and grape. And royalty. Never the spell I need, but nonetheless, we can go nuclear on these guys. Ah, not nuclear enough though. Luckily, I've been checkpointed at the beginning of this area, so it'll be easy enough to get back here. I believe this is right about where we left off. Around the corner from the goblin horde. Also very near, the third and final switch. We're probably gonna have to play with those things to figure out the order that they have to be in. But there's only so many options. Yeah, these two are down. That's probably a good thing. Oh. Don't want to get backstabbed while we're dealing with the actual foes. Also don't want to run out of mana. Nice thing about dealing with all these enemies all at once, killing them all in large groups, is that we get a lot of drops out of it. Which means more chances to get exactly what we need to survive. But first I'd like to get rid of this robot. Like to. Oh, there we go. Too bad that can't damage the nearby goblins for us. But regardless, no time like the present to get in there and get killing. Ah, one of them's a boss. And the boss is the last one standing. Without his backup, he is without a chance. There we go. That's pretty much all we needed to do for the level.
We're energized.
There's our last energy sphere. But the port that it plugs into is behind a force field. Everything's behind force fields here. That's what the switches are for. And we pulled that one. I'm gonna switch this one up, just to see what the deal is. Then we just gotta backtrack in what should have been safety, but for some reason is not. Kill another boss. There we go. You're a terrible general. All of your men have died. So let's play with the final switch. See what that gets us. Nothing. Well, time to go play with the other ones. Will this do it? Nay. No dice there. Let's try 2 up, 1 down.
Yeah, I ordered the combination plate.
Yep, that was it. Like I said, no indication of how to solve that puzzle. You just mess with the switches. And if all 3 were in the same spot, that would be fine. But they're not.
Looks like some kind of experiment. And the results are in my pocket.
Apparently, there we go, this button here was controlling all the force fields. So now we can take a good look at the eyeball creature. How you doing, Goop? Slightly out of your cage, that's fine. And I didn't take too much of a look at this guy, but yeah, he's dead now. Sorry, guy. Maybe you didn't like being a immortal head. Gross. That completes the second goblin area. Plenty more goblining to do, though. It's nice to have these short areas we can go through, solve pretty quickly. And be on our way. And now we're on our way. So we've entered the main halls of the goblin lair. This area, I believe, is actually called the goblin lair. Means we're going to be swimming in them. But we're well versed in how to deal with it. Now this right here, if you just don't look in that direction when you walk out of this room, you will just go through the whole level without the power cell. Then have to backtrack the whole thing. Kind of a dumb thing to do. I don't know what kind of dummy would make that mistake. But I'm sure they regret it. The main thing we're gonna see here is sort of goblin meeting halls, which are going to be huge open rooms filled to the brim with goblins. Stairs are a bit of a problem for the Ring of Rhyme. That guy there would have died in the first cast, but he was elevated, and the Ring of Rhyme only hits the ground. This up here is one of those goblin waiting rooms. You take a lot of damage really fast, as is the gimmick of the goblin. Not if you lure him out here. There's not much they can do. There we go. And a boss type guy. As usual, enemy shots will absorb your shots, destroying both in the process, but I'd rather just hit the enemy than destroy his shots. All we really need to do is survive, though. And that will allow us to discover this thing. What is this thing? Some kind of elaborate garbage can with a force field inside. We're going to get a hint about what to do with this much later. Luckily, I know what to do with it now. Open it up, and we can see the reticle is now solid over it. So we can destroy the force field inside. And yeah, it's permanently wrecked. That's what we need to do. Break all those things. We got the security card just floating out in the middle of nowhere. This one isn't even well guarded by a creature we have to threaten to kill. Or feed, for that matter. So they've got a bit lazy with the pattern they have established, but anything to get us through the level faster. There's plenty of level here, and it's quite enjoyable, but, you know, don't want it to outlive its welcome. That's how you ruin the enjoyment. A lot of guys out here. Oh, somehow he survived the Ring of Rhyme. Lucky. Ooh, another grand melee up there. I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anything out here first. This area isn't quite perfectly linear. I believe the exit is up ahead at the end of this hallway. But obviously we can't go through the exit just yet. That was superbly done. Alright. There we go. Okay. So those guys, they get to be a little much to deal with. They're not difficult, they're just kind of annoying. Same problem as last time. Force field plus all the usual obstacles. But if we move on, we'll see that there are further obstacles to deal with. Not just the obvious 3 in our way. Ooh, close one. And these guys fire very fast. I usually don't let them live long enough to do that. But my curiosity is more than satisfied at this point. Not a boss type. For some reason I said their guns were purple. Really it's just that their sleeves are red. I was way off. Just thought I'd point that out so that no one thought I had some kind of bizarre vision impairment. I've just got the regular vision impairment that all nerds have. So I'll repeat that process. There it goes. That was weird. And these machines follow the video game rule of 4s. There's 4 of them scattered around here. This time we're going straight from one death hallway to another. But we can get a bit of a jump on this one. Take out some of the most threatening opponents before we even set foot in there. And ring the rest of them. Glorious. That Ring of Rhyme is very satisfying. This level, I'm actually kind of chumping it now. I guess I'm used to it, but the first time I played it, it was very intense. Felt like a video game of some sort, which typically Darkened Skye does not feel like. Usually it feels like they just sort of threw some crap at a wall. But this level was actually really fun. Summon the reinforcements. I wasn't looking. Rude. That's fine. Not enough reinforcements. I'll make them regret that. There we go. Switching items on the fly, and spells for that matter, is very dangerous. Often gets me killed. It's a frustrating way to die. when you know you have exactly what you need to survive, you just don't use it in time. That was a completely accidental use of the rune mine, but didn't actually harm anybody. Just wasted a rune mine. Which is kind of a problem. We actually do need them. This is the one level that actually requires them for progress. Ah. That's where we're supposed to get the hint.
Some kind of artificial barrier.
It's a force field, Cotton.
Yeah, that hint. Thank you, Drac. Ugh. I will further admit that the first time I played through this area, I was wearing headphones, listening to something else. I did not hear that incredible impression. And I was better off for it. This game's greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. So we're required to drop down here.
The water lands in those trays and makes the planets go round. I'm so smart it hurts. Ow.
So apparently there's water. Okay, yeah, there's a water wheel. And the machine's going through it. And that's what was making the orbs rotate around this strange object. But we shut down the object, so that's all a thing of the past. Now, obviously, what we do when we see water is we freeze it. But, as I've stated, Polar Pulse has splash damage, so we want to get our safe distance.
The water's frozen crystal clear.
Crystals. There's the crystal now. Grab it, Skye. Okay. We have to freeze it one more time before we can get the crystal.
The water's frozen crystal clear.
Yeah, we get it, Skye. See, this makes no sense because we have not yet been told that we need a crystal, but we need a crystal.
We're energized.
And we need the last orb of power. Now, I do believe there are even more respawns, so I'm going to play it safe and keep my staff out. I could be wrong, though. I could have just slaughtered all the respawns, so maybe we're safe. I do like that this was formerly a pretty unique take on the weird fantasy world. Now it's just World of Warcraft. We've fallen a long way in creativity, but we've greatly improved in level design, so it's a give and a take here. But now it's time we take our leave. Yeah, I like that segue. I'm proud of it. And we're on to the last leg of the goblin lair. First time I entered here, I let out a very long sigh, but this area is actually the shortest of the bunch. We won't be here too long, and there's not too much in the way of combat. And what there is all piled up on top of itself, right in the very opening corridor. Very, very susceptible to the ring of fire. And this thing. Hello. We've reached peak body horror here in the Goblin Fortress. These goblins are some mad scientists, but I don't know. How did they get eyeballs in the wall? What is going on here? It's actually pretty good visual design. I'm not legitimately complaining, I like it. I will certainly like it better once I've officially survived and escaped. Yeah, this is a level I've only died twice in. Feels pretty good. Oh, another boss character. Which definitely shouldn't count my deaths right in the middle of combat. That is a recipe for disaster. Ah, this pathway here leads very long, circuitous path through some kind of basement area. There's nothing there but a couple of health potion pickups. And a bunch of enemies. So I'm going to fast track us over to the next actual area.
Oops, lower viscosity.
Where we've got another scientist. Hard at work.
Lower viscosity.
So hard at work that he doesn't notice us.
Excuse me, do you know anything about shucks, I don't know, a portable crystal time machine?
Ha! A portable crystal. Guard!
This guy's his own guard. And he's coming at us hard and fast. Oh, he's a furious madman. What are we gonna do to stop him? Hit his whimpering chump self with a stick.
Time machine most bestest invention ever, but never complete.
Oh yeah, Poindexter? Why not?
Need part, no halvesies. Large crystal, 8 side. Me try lots crystals, never find right size shape. Me doom failure.
A big 8-sided crystal is all you need.
Thinks maybe.
Yeah. There we go. That's why we need the crystal that we were so insistent on collecting previously. At least we think it's a crystal. It's made out of ice. And we're sort of in the desert. But apparently it's got some longevity to it somehow.
It work! Genius me! Machine turn back time for any creature you aim at. It work! It work! Come see! Me bestest ever, me best!
And then we immediately steal it. It says see journal for instructions. That's another hilarious Darkened Skye joke. Because we don't need instructions. All we do is go up to objects and press the use button. Oh hey, I'm in a wall. It's not typically intended, but it does happen a lot. I'm just glad it didn't kill me this time. Not that it would have sent me back very far. So continue collecting the rune mines. As I said, they are actually required here. This is the exit to the basement area I mentioned. I'll show it off. What's the worst that could happen? Yep. That's about the worst that could happen. Okay. More enemies than I thought in that basement. And I was too low on mana. Ooh, I thought for sure the staircase was gonna have him too elevated to get hit by the ring. Lucked out there, I could have died. And I'd have no one to blame but myself. I warned myself many times not to do this. But there we go. That's the exciting basement hallway I had to show you. Ugh. That's the one major misstep in this level's design. Completely pointless hallway full of enemies. Could call it a punishment, but really, it's just typical Darkened Skye ridiculousness. Onward and quite literally upward. Ooh, and a bunch of pickups. That's exclusively a good thing in video games, right? When they give you a full heal and a nuclear device. It was a full heal. Now it's a half heal. But I got some remnants. Anyway, if the foreshadowing wasn't obvious enough, we're on our way to a boss fight. Not that boss, though. We've killed that boss many times. Ooh. actually fell from too far of a height that it caused me to drop to my knees when I landed. Which is why the guy with the gun got a bunch of free shots off on me. I'm gonna continue killing, because you've probably noticed that there's a creature just at the other end of the room. And I do not want to get ambushed while facing that creature. But that creature is all that remains of this level. This pretty good level that I quite liked. Yeah, if all the levels were like this, they actually could have sold this game on its legitimate merits then, rather than its Skittles affiliation. Also, the GameCube release of this game was packaged with Outlaw Golf. That's a real incentive to pick up this game. Obviously. My version was not. I believe it's only the PAL version that was packaged with Outlaw Golf. My version was packaged with a much better prize. A $20 prepaid phone card. I only paid $15 for the game, brand new. So, if prepaid phone cards still worked, I would have turned a profit. But alas. Terrifying creature is not very lively.
He's kinda dead. Kinda blocking the door, too.
Because he's dead. And that's how they check that you absolutely have collected the time machine. We can resurrect him. I'm gonna want to prepare myself first, though. So, one thing we got in the actual last area was the lightning spell. Shoots lightning. What it requires is 2 yellow, 2 green, and 2 orange Skittles. So that's what our new Skittles is for, that we got by depowering the electric field. But it requires so many Skittles that we have to also unequip our very effective and beloved spells, just to show off the lightning. And I'm not even going to have confidence in the lightning. I'm going to save. Just in case. This boss has a homing vomit attack, and Skye doesn't move fast enough to dodge it. It's pretty much guaranteed to hit. So here's lightning. It's not very good. I just wanted to show it off. And unfortunately, I've never showed this off before, but the Skittles we had in there, you can see them down at the very bottom of the screen wiggling around. They're blacked out, so if we put them in another spell, they'll still work. You can see there is a blacked out green Skittles in there, but when we go to use the Polar Pulse, it has no mana, because that Skittle has been drained. It's kind of rude. I mean, it makes perfect sense. We drain the Skittles, so we can't use its mana. But it's a useless mechanic. Does no one any good. What might do us some good is the Ring of Rhyme. Gotta use another mana potion before we can use it, though. There we go. It's got a melee strike where it kind of strikes us with its Chimera tail. Does a lot of damage, a lot more damage than its other attack. Its other attack, which is very poor damage, but it's basically guaranteed to hit. So, we got full mana bars on this. This should finally start to do some damage. This thing has so much health, though. Once we get it down to half health, it is going to start cheating. Just a little bit more. There we go, it's down below half health. And it used that portal thing to instantly heal well above half. So what we have to do is half of its health bar and damage in one hit. Or simultaneously with half a dozen of these things. Yeah. Quite a nice death animation. Get out of here, you xenomorph Bulbasaur thing. And that's the goblin lairs. That'll send us off to the Bonelands with our time reversal device. There we will meet Gwynella and hopefully resurrect her. If we survive the Bonelands. The Bonelands are a lot harder. But not to hype it up too much. Let's just be on our way there.
I thought you might be looking for this.
How do you know what I might be looking for?
I might have an idea or two.
And I might have an idea or two about another side of you. One that I don't think I like very much.
Don't waste thoughts on that. You need to trust me.
You need therapy.
I've seen the Bonelands. You'll never make it through there with a horse. Send us both ahead and we'll meet you at the Circle of Stones.
Give me the horse. I don't need your...
Help? Yes, you do. Go! I'll meet you with the horse. Then you'll see I'm worthy of your trust.
Right. And how do we send you both ahead? Just snap our fingers and presto... Huh? No! Gwynella's horse! What happened? We need a real hero here, folks. Not me.
Oh, we just can't keep our hands on that horse. Well, it's time to put Dorian to the test next time.